Hi, I wanted to do an update because I haven't in so long. I was so sick from July to September because of the ice incident and fibro flares. And then cutting out the drama, most of it with all the different agencies and anyone to do with them. I cut out everything, and so that's helped a lot. That's really helped a lot. I do have one issue that is very bad, so I'm actually looking for another space to live. Because it's just not livable. There's like dogs over there, and they usually wake up and start barking at about 4 or 5 p.m. and they go all night, and they're very loud and they echo. It's like if you imagine the loudest alarm clock you've ever used to wake up, because I'm a very deep sleeper, so I have to use one of those clocks. It's louder than that, and they go all night. So it's like I will go days with no sleep here, and that has really racked on my health. And that was started at the end of July too, so it made it really hard to heal, and it's made it really, really rough. And one of them even got loose and got in there and took out one of my path lights, solar path lights. So I only have one solar path light left. This bucket's starting to crack, but it's doing the job. The reason it's bolted down here is wind, and it is keeping the sun off of the fixture, which is what I need it to do. And then I still have that solar path light left and the ones in the trees. But I really did need one here, so coming from the car. That thing keeps coming undone, the sewer thing. It keeps coming undone. And I finally got somebody maybe to put a rock under it enough so that it won't. I don't know. But the landlord won't allow it to be glued, and so it's not like a great situation. And he no longer really comes and upkeeps the yard much. He'll ride through with a mower, but he won't do any of these weeds. And so that means during the summer that mice can get in and stuff like that, where there's never been like a mouse problem before. There's not in my trailer at all. There's not in my trailer, and he no longer seems to take the trash either, so I have overflowing trash, and that's something that was like agreed on when I moved in, so I don't know. It's like they did come back with the skirting, and actually you notice the clamps aren't really on there anymore, and they did something called landscaping ties, and that's made the skirting work out. But the RV person did that out of the goodness of his heart. It's not anything that I'm hoping that the manufacturer covered that, because they should have told him in the first place, hey. And this yard stash tent, I've cleared that down to the point where the orange bucket in there is like basically empty except for some odds and ends that I could take or leave. And so at another spot that could go on to, let's say, the fixture where the cracking orange bucket is now. And I got rid of the bucket that holds the chain and stuff like that. So, oh wow, I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, I worked on this, and you'll see another video where I talk about paring down. So you have to watch that and see what I did here. And basically I'm too foggy to really do much. There's like obviously a big mess. So I'm lucky anything's still left in here. But you can watch my pare down video. And as you see, a lot has gone out of here. That's the problem. Like, my brain fog is so bad because I've had such bad flu symptoms. And this has been horrible, the achiness and stuff, because I'm not getting the proper rest, and I'm constantly coming down with something on top of the fibromyalgia, and then it puts me and keeps me down. So it looks like the skirting is really good. It's not ripping. The trailer is not like rocking off its hilts anymore, and the skirting's actually doing what it's supposed to do now that the landscaping ties are in. So, I mean, that's really some good news there. And the chair is still bolted down. The conduit was coming apart. I'm actually looking to get like some kind of soft conduit to go over that booster cable that can just be rolled up for easy moving. And I'm actually looking for somebody to build, now that this is pared down, something onto the back of my trailer that will hold this stuff, so that's in here now. And I've been trying to do that for a year and a half, and I've actually had 2 or 3 really good handymen quit because I asked them to do it, and then they say they'll get me an estimate, and then they cut off all contact with me. So that has been kind of a bane. It's like I've had a really great handyman in here, and I asked him, and it's just really, really made some changes. You know, I've been kind of told medically I need to move too, because, you know, you can't just go and continue like this and be woken up all night long. And another thing that, you know, has gone on, the conduit breaks open, and so there's now a rock at this end. A lady came and put a rock at this end and a rock at that end and pushed it back together so it won't open up, and the rock holds it from the wind. You can see down there, like if I zoom down there, there's like a really, really big rock, you know, at that elbow there coming out of that box. So that helps the problem, and then I'm looking into these other things to make moving easier, and that's part of the pair down too, but I just need to get on with my life. Nothing has sold on Craigslist, nothing at all has sold on Craigslist. I mean, maybe $5 or $10 since July. I mean, the stuff just isn't, nobody's buying anything anymore, nobody's listing there anymore, no one's using it anymore. Yes, Facebook has become the new thing, but nobody's really buying there either, or using that either. So people just aren't buying and selling. That's why you notice when you've gone to Amazon that Amazon has gone back down to $25 shipping. You know, they wanted to make it right and went back down to $39, but then decided, hey, or $35 or whatever it was before they upped it, and everybody got really angry and left. Because when they went up to like $35, everybody said, yeah, everything's more expensive, okay, you know. But they've gone back down to the $25, and I think that's something that has to do with it, is retail's just bad in general. So I'll take you inside and show you what's going on inside. Okay, we're inside now. One thing that I forgot to mention in my update is usually the weather here is basically like overcast and rainy. It's like Portland or Seattle. And throughout the whole summer, we didn't have a monsoon season of rain. It's been nothing but sun, so I've been really lucky with the solar for the summer, but really lucky. We're back to our regular weather programming. You know, this past week it's been clouds, 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 and I'm happy to have the extra panels, and I'm having to conserve. You know, I'll wake up at, like, because of the dogs, I'm, you know, already up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I turn the fridge off, and then at 8 a.m. right before, or 7 a.m. right before they stop barking, I turn it back on. So that way, because this has pretty cold temps, even on the lowest setting. It's got very, very low temps. So, I mean, it's nothing off of the food inside, and with the weather colder outside. And so, you know, I've really been enjoying, you know, having things kind of cleaned up, freshened up, you know, thing off the stove. There's videos on how I took the thing off the stove. As for the Berkey water filter, they can be a real problem because they leak out a lot of water. So they are the best water filter, I think, for being off-grid, because you don't have to plug them in, and you can get, you know, pretty good water, and the filters are good. It's not like trying to use other pitcher water filters or some of the ones on your tap that don't really filter out the water. But they can leak, like here, and oftentimes this thing will get left on, And then when you go to fill it, you have a whole flood. So it's not over there anymore. I have heavy, heavy water damage. You can see down behind that dark spot, that's like a big hole in the wall. I'm going to have to replace and have a plate put over that whole wall now where the water damage was taken out. And having that water filter there was just a fiasco. And then things overflowing or splashing out when you're trying to fill it. It's just a big, big water mess. You know, I recommend that if you do go with a Berkey water filter, especially in a tiny home or trailer, that you get some kind of pan to put it in and then have your spout go off over a sink or bathtub or something. And if you're healthy, maybe you even want to put it outside. I don't know. But you don't want it to be where it can flood your place, because it will. And every time that happened, I was like, well, I'll be careful, it won't happen again. And then, you know, a month later, it'll be happening again. So you've got to have like some kind of pan. There's something under here that I stuck under here so it would angle into the sink. So the Berkey's good, but you've got to have some kind of pan. So I bought that small dish drainer with a small pan, and then this fits on it, and the spout in that side is over the sink. If it leaks out here because it's not filled 100% properly, it'll go into the pan and then out into the sink. Good candles and candle holders, the drapes. I've done some videos on them. And I still have a tie to make there and 2 ties to make for the drapes over there. So I haven't gotten really anything done because I've been so sick in that regard. And this seat got really soiled and messed up with all the, you know, ice and stuff. And it's in the process. It's had one cleaning and it's getting another, so hopefully it'll go back to normal. And I've gone through stuff, consolidated both boxes into one box, like there. You know, cleaning off the little charm that goes with the choker. No wonder I wouldn't wear it. Now he's all clean. And I'm going to wash the choker. And just, you know, deciding what to keep. And I gave some costume jewelry away today. And, you know, so I got rid of a lot of costume jewelry out of my costume jewelry. And the skirting is working better, but the kitchen floor is still really, really cold. But food ends up down there. When you cook food, bam, floor. And so I ended up going with a round rug. So that way I'm walking across this as I walk into the kitchen and I'm not getting cold. Or as I sit at the table, my feet are down on the floor as I sit at the table. But then the mess can go there. And someday I can find maybe a smaller rug that can go there or something. I got this on Amazon. Really pretty. It's $18 it was for me. $18.99. And a week later it went up to $39.99. First $29.99 like a day later. And then $39.99. Now it's gone. Unavailable. Can't get it. And that's happened with a lot of merchandise. Beautiful stuff, but you just can't get it anymore. I was never able to get the Malabar spinach planted. I took down the second group of basil plants and we're on to the third group of cuttings. Somebody actually had all their basil bolt on them, and they brought it all back to me, the plants, and said, well, we have too many plants that we've got to use up now. And so I made pesto with the plants. They were cuttings I gave them that went into their garden for the summer, and then they came back to me to make pesto. So I ended up taking all that out and making a ton of pesto. So I've got it pure. I've got like a lot of pesto. And then down here I opened the olives. They're good for no fridge, those olives. They're good for no fridge. And then I did buy a couple jars of olives, but I'm keeping it way down. I'm keeping you know, the stuff that would require a fridge down. Like, I don't buy tomato paste anymore. I don't buy any of that. So that way, you know, if anything happens, I keep it like a lot lower. I don't keep this full. There's an ice thing in the back, an ice pack in the back, and ice trays, and so there's a lot of that. So I'm really using stuff, cycling stuff through a lot faster, so it's not stored in there. And then over the Thanksgiving, a man came and he did most of that wall, a little bit more up there as far as the removal of that stinky vinyl paper. And so that has been really, really nice. The Mighty Cool has been moved over there. That was moved over there the end of summer so that it could fan out into the room, so I'm not sitting here freezing to death and more of the room's getting cold. Because it's such a small space, I get away with that. Otherwise, it's not meant to cool the room. And, you know, it's still kind of the same bohemian bed. When I feel well, I make it up, I make it real pretty. And when I don't feel well, I don't. So I've got, you know, the boho thing going on really good. The discount frames are all in place. There's another example, that Moroccan lantern. I was actually going to get one of those to replace the fixture up there that had to be moved, which I'll show you in a minute. But the this Moroccan lantern, it was $11.99. Then when I went to buy it, it had gone up to like 20 something, and I'm like, no way, I can't do that. So I bought a used one. They had some used ones still on site. And here, it's really poor light. You put these votives in, which is all they're made for, and it's just really poor light. It's a joke. So I ended up taking, hold on a second while okay, I got the door open, one of those crummy plastic candles and putting it like upside down in here. So I have it, and it's upside down in here, so I slide it in at the top and it's upside down. And then when I close it, it looks like a small pillar candle. And I had a brass chain I was cleaning through. I have no use for that. And so I did that as the chain and had that hung. And then you're probably wondering as I walk through, like, okay, what is the red dot on her computer? Well, it's like I say, this place is a work in progress. I haven't gone crazy and started putting red dots on my computer. Obviously, you know, it has something to do with like blocking the bright light that comes out the back. But you're going to have to stay tuned for another video to see where that's going to end up and what I was thinking of doing that. Because like I say, it's a work in progress. And, you know, my gypsy trunk, it's been great. I went shopping on Amazon just to try to get something to get that up, and then I could put the movies underneath and have it on a stand and have more room there. And I found that same shelf down in my bathroom, so I took that out of the bathroom and took one of the ones under there. So that way when I go to move, I'm not going to have to clear a shelf off back there. And so that went to the bathroom. And this is here. And it allows me to lift the computer off real fast onto the floor. It just makes, you know, getting in and out of the trunk if I need to easier, which I don't put things in the trunk that you have to get at very often. There's some summer things in there now. And I had a shelf done for in there just out of crummy scrap wood. A volunteer just stuck it in kind of thing. And there's going to be another real crummy one there. Because this is just temporary in the meantime. And then I got those two for some dirt or to, you know, put something else in. Down here is some more of the lavender fabric. And there's some brocade underneath here. I'm going to be using the brocade to line those curtains instead of the mylar. And then there's going to be black fabric in the middle. And that way they'll hang better still and block out the light, and I can take the stinky, smelly shade that makes me sneeze and cough away. And then the rest of this velvet fabric is going to be like Swagger's So that will come down, and it'll be like swagger scarves for the windows. Each window will have that. So you won't see the rod showing anymore. And then up here it's real dark, but I'll turn on some light. So, you know, it's been real nice with the, you know, candles set up here, I can see. And in here, you know, the candles are still here. And, let me turn more bright light on. So, up there where the fixture was taken down, it needed like some kind of sticker or something over it. A white sticker isn't going to match the ceiling, and it's going to look like I went to Staples and bought office supplies and pasted them on my ceiling. Well, that's certainly like scummy, isn't it? And the medallion stickers, they had some really pretty bohemian medallion stickers. And, but it would be like a big circle of vinyl, another thing to off-gas, another thing to be toxic. And these stars are like harder plastic, they don't have any smell. The paste doesn't have any smell, but it also didn't stick, so they all had to be super glued up. So, I mean, that's just real pretty. You've got the room, the ceiling, and classy gypsy stars. Now, I've got battery string lights hanging because the other ones are still out there off-gassing. They got about 3 months to go. And up there is blue tape marking where the fixture is going to go. That fixture over here, you can hardly see it, is going to go over the piano, out of the way of people's heads, and over the piano so I can see to play. Between the string lights and that fixture, I can see to play this again. And so basically what I've been doing is trying to take the stuff is going around Tucson as we speak now to try to be consigned and sold, you know, at these stores. It's gone off to Bookman's. Like I said, I'm doing another video about paring down, so I'll go more into that. So that's basically where it has been. That's just laundry that's out of the cabinet. So, I mean, it's getting like a lot more, you know, livable to where I could start, you know, moving on to other plans with this. My first two major plans, though, are to get something built on the back and to get something built for a conduit for the phone box to make moving easier. Basically, all this is to make moving easier and faster so I don't have to go through a big expense to try to move, especially having to probably go to an emergency place to try to do something so I can get some sleep. I'm hoping, I really wanted to hold out here till like at least June, till the first consolidation loan was paid off, because I really don't have money to move, and even then it would be really rough. So I'm trying to figure out just how to manage what to do, and because it is a really, really big mess, but you know, I'm working on it, and that's my update for now. So if you like, hit like, subscribe, and share.